Good morning, beautifuls. Okay, so if you've ever scrolled through Instagram, which we're all guilty of, you've noticed it's all about the foxy eyes. Okay, so generally speaking, the foxy eyes that I've come across are an actual procedure done with what's called PDO threads. Okay, so they're inserting a hollow needle and then depositing. They make the incision around here somewhere and depositing. It's basically like if you can envision like a fishing line and it's got all sorts of barbs along it. When you stick a barb in, it'll go in, but it won't come back out, right? So there's all sorts of dissolvable barbs, and then they basically just literally are hooking your skin and pulling it back. Okay, so whereas say you would have like a rounded eyebrow when you're done with a PDO, it's more like this. It gives you that exotic kind of. I don't know how long PDOs last. I don't really know anything about them, too much more than that. But I think it's like 6 months. So they're dissolvable. So like if you don't like it, well, they could probably take it out surgically if you don't like it. Otherwise, you got to wait it out. Anyway, this is my version of foxy eyes. All I did was take my Ardell Whispies and chop that much off, okay? Because it's really about that up on the sides. I've also seen some people place it instead of along their lash line, more like out like that to give it that out versus up, right? But we're just going to cheat today because I'm not heading out to get PDO threads. So I put it right on the lash line. I've tried to do that sideways one. It doesn't stick and falls off. Right to the very end. Oh, shit. It's a little bit harder, to be honest, when it's a smaller piece. But to me, as much as it's a fake lash, I still want it to look as natural as possible. And if you're not wearing a bunch of other makeup, unless it's on the lash line, you can't really hide it. So I like to be right on the lash line. Oops. And my lashes are, like I have some lashes, so they kind of get in the way. Okay, so I think my glue might be, is there such thing as too old? Probably. Okay, so then these are my own lashes in here. I'll show you what I'm going to do with those after, because it's a little bit like, appears to be a little bit like nothing. And then, okay, so I do that one. So obviously one eye doesn't have any mascara or anything on it. So one eye is really quite pulled up or out and one eye just looks normal. So already I think that's pretty foxy. I mean, you're not getting that full because it's quite a pull, like even from under here with the threads, but we are just faking it. So here's my other piece, my ancient glue. Well, that was a lot. Now with glue, the idea would be get on it right away. See, that's like way too much. Okay, so then I just get it off like that. Good enough. It's not a science. But this is Shelby's version of the foxy eye. This one's far cheaper. It is pretty cool though. The threads, if you've ever watched, you know, they can slim your nose. They can lift your nose. Like if you kind of have a bit of a hook, it is wild. Well, I mean, they could do your whole face. They can tighten your jawline with threads. Like it's pretty wild. They're interesting. It sounds like, I think it's sort of like, I mean, obviously you can use PDO and fillers at the same time, but a lot of the things you can do with PDO, you can do with fillers as well. So I think some clinics are like full for the PDO or more like for on for the fillers. So I don't know. And I don't know if up here in lowly Canada, I'm pretty sure a lot of the videos I'm watching are from Russia. So obviously they, I think in their beauty industry, are quite ahead of the curve. And I read something about in 2018, there was only one place in Ottawa that was doing PDO threads. I know that's not true now. That was quite a few years ago. But I think they've been doing it for a long time. I've been watching Francine, the thread queen. I believe that's what her Instagram page is. She actually shows you, like, puts them in and pulls and slims and lines them all the way along in the jawline. And actually it's like weird little, like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Check it out. But again, a semi-permanent option. I guess the idea with fillers, you put them in and then you would have to maintain them. But I'm assuming with the PDO threads, you'd have to take them out and put new ones in, I guess. Or they dissolve, so then you'd... Anyway, it's all like surgical materials, so, you know, made to do that. Okay, so this is what I'm doing. I've got my Foxy going on with my little chopped eyelashes, but I still feel like this is a little bit too nothing and then into that. So all I do is just take my... I'm using Benefit Bad Girl Bang because it really... I have long natural eyelashes and I find this mascara does not transfer onto my eyelid, which has been hard to find for me. Okay, so then I just do a tiny bit. So it's just going to hide. It probably maybe reduces the foxiness a little bit because it's not so like whammo, but I don't like it when there's nothing in there. Like, I'm not used to seeing myself like that. So I just put a tiny bit of mascara on these lashes. I like when lashes come like way in here. You know what I mean? Like down to your inner. So that's kind of what I'm used to. So there. So it's a little bit more even. I mean, obviously they don't look like natural lashes, but I think that I'm starting, I've got that like pulled up and out. Now, if you really want a foxy lash, I would say go with a high bun. Here, let's release it. Okay, so obviously this is like the 60-second facelift. If you really want to foxy it and you want to cheat it, also the other way to help fake this is if you were like really rounding your eyebrows, stop doing that and do more like a up or out. No more this, more like this. And then you got the lashes like this, and then you've got the hair pulled back, and it's really going to mimic that foxy, snatched. Oh, give me a fucking headache. Okay, so this is my version of the foxy lash. Like I said, I just took my Ardell Whispies, cut them at about mid-eye, and then they're just getting applied to mid to end, and then I just touched up a little bit on my eyelashes. But I think it's about as foxy as I'm gonna get, so I don't know. I like it. It's pretty foxy. Good enough. Anyways, thank you for joining me, my version of the foxy eyes. See you again on the Shelves Live.